Hello, it's Charles Fockaert on March 4th, 2018. I welcome all of you, and I thank you for supporting and all the work you do along with me on this channel. Thank you for comments, etc., the likes. It all adds up, folks, and I thank you very much. I don't usually do a video on Sunday morning, but we're in a war, and you got to do things when you got to do them, and so I decided to... I'm going to try to keep this short, but this is about the YouTube purge, which continues. I watched a video on Alex Jones, and he's all upset, and he should be, about the purge that's going on with YouTube. He was purged, and then he's back on. He's off. He gets the strike. 2 strikes, you're out. And the important thing was that I caught is that it's the SPLC, Southern Poverty Law Center, is involved. And I went back and I looked at my video again, and I mentioned the SPLC in my video, false flag ops and hoaxes. And that's why I believe I got the strike. It wasn't because I attacked anybody. I wasn't being malicious, etc., which is why YouTube, or the excuse they give. I wasn't harassing anybody. I wasn't advocating any violence. And I said on earlier videos, there was no reason for YouTube to do what they did to me. And that is the strike. Now that's important because one more strike and I can't upload videos for 2 weeks. And then the third strike, you're out, of course. And the point I want to make here is, there's 2 points I want to make, and I'll get to the second point, which is the Community Decency Act, Title 47 of the U.S. Code, and Section 230. I'm going to get to that in a minute, but I want to talk about something else here right now, which is happening. And I've done several videos, and I've said that what happened to me when this man here took away my assets, all my property, all my equipment, and essentially all my working capital, the cash that I had built up over more than a 20-year period of time, I said, what happened to me is going to happen to you. And let's go have a look at this judge first. Now here's the criminal in black robes, and he's the bankruptcy judge out of Santa Rosa, California, and he said in open court, quote, "In the 12 years I've been on the bench, I have never given a man back his business over the objection of his ex-wife." He's now been on the bench for over 30 years. And these men, these Esau Edomites, they don't like to retire. They will work, they will stay, quote, on the bench until they end up getting put in the box, in the coffin. One example is Ruth Ginsburg. Put the triple parentheses around Ginsburg, who's on the Supreme Court. She's the walking dead, and yet she's still deciding the most important cases here in the United States. And that's the point I want to make. These people love the power and control that they have over us non-Esau Edomites. Now, again, I've said many times that what happened to me and my family, this ruined my way, my means of earning a living, and I went to Asia to teach English, and I left the country because I didn't want to commit a criminal act. And I didn't think at that time I had any other choice, and I mentioned that in my book, Deadbeat Dad. And I couldn't get my book published with a mainstream, put the triple parentheses around publishers, right? and I put my book, so I self-published and put my book on Lulu, and I put my book on Amazon, and they have since removed my book, just like YouTube is removing channels from their platform. Do you see the pattern here, folks? I was removed back in the 80s from the weekly magazine in Humboldt County because the advertisers didn't like my views. So basically, I was forced, or the publisher was forced to remove me from the weekly column because of the advertisers. And I can almost assure you that a lot of those advertisers, you can put the triple parentheses around. So this, what's happening now to those people on YouTube that are getting their channels removed, happened to me, has happened to me all through my life. Okay? Now, it wasn't until the 90s, 1999, that it actually, or actually before that, went in my divorce, where they affected my income, and then it was the bankruptcy, which I was not bankrupt. I want to stress that. I went in there to protect my assets. The king vulture, that judge, turns it over to a trustee. You can put the triple parentheses, and then my assets are all gone. Alrighty. The point here I want to make is they're doing that now in different ways to other people on their platform. There's people making a lot of money on YouTube. I'm not one of them. I haven't got any shekels from YouTube yet. And but Jones, obviously, he's a big player. If I could put the video on, if I had internet here in the mobile cabin, I would put the video on so you could see it. I'll put a link below this video so you can go watch Alex Jones. And he's upset. And when I was upset back in the 90s and the early 2000s, and even now, people tell me, oh, Charles, you need to move on with your life and get over it, and hey, poo-poo happens. But you know what? It hasn't happened to you yet. And I'm watching Alex Jones, and I say, well, how does it feel, buddy? Hey, nobody came to my rescue. When they took everything away from me back in the late 90s, nobody came to my rescue. I lost everything. I lost contact. I lost access to my children. Everything's gone. I'm on my own. Alex Jones, he still has his assets. He still can make a living. He can still move on. He can make an adjustments. That wasn't the case with me. And what I'm saying is, when they're all through with us, folks, and here's the point I want to make here. You know, and Alex Jones mentions this, and I hope you go watch his video, because he says, you know what, you liberals out there that don't like our point of view, you think you're on the winning side right now because you got our channels banned, and the SPLC 10,000 strong army went on YouTube and did the big purge, and you liberals and you social justice warriors and all the rest of you, you think you're on the winning side. Well, I got news for you. When this is all over, or when we get nearer to the end, these same people, these same Esau Edomites, are going to come after you too. And you know what? You're going to get your ass kicked, just like the rest of us, just like we are, and just like I did. Okay? Richie from Boston, he had 57,000 subscribers send emails to YouTube, and he hired an attorney, and he got back on, and good for him. See, he had support. His subscribers supported him, and he had legal assistance. And back in the late 90s, I went to the court for protection, and the court is the judge illegally took away everything else that I had left, and I had no means of earning an income. Hence my departure from the United States. And then the same thing happens when I come back. I get sued, falsely accused again, and I have Esau Edomite judges, and I've gone into that, and I spent 3.5 years defending myself there. What I'm saying here is, folks, they're just picking out certain people now, right at this time. And as soon as they can, if they ever do take away our weapons, they're going to go after all of us. All righty? If you don't get that, all you people that are opposed to what I say here, and all the people that are exposing these Esau, and Jones isn't even exposing the Esau Edomites, folks. He doesn't name them because he's been involved with them. His first wife, I guess, maybe even his second wife. You know what? He's right in there, and they're attacking him. So can you imagine what they're going to do to people like me, who was an Israelite identist, who are calling out the Esau Edomites, who these people are, the Schumers and the Feinsteins and the Boxers and the Wolf Blitzers and the SPLC and the ADL. Can you imagine what they would like to do to us? And they're going, if you're a libtard and a social justice warrior and a judeo-christian and all the rest of you that are opposed to people like me, you're going to get your ass kicked by these same people now. So you need to get your head out of your posterior, and you need to start getting involved, and you need to start pushing back, and you need to support those of us that are in the fight in any way that you can. Now, one last thing I'd like to say before I go. Okay, I'm reading from Title 47 U.S. Code, Section 230, a provision of the Communications Decency Act. And I want to read it to you because it's important. There's an important section in this code, in Section 230. Section 230 says that, quote, no provider or user of an interactive computer service shall be treated as the publisher or speaker of any information provided by another information content provider. In other words, online intermediaries that host or republish speech are protected against a range of laws that might otherwise be used to hold them legally responsible for what others say and do. The protected intermediaries include not only regular internet service providers, but also a range of, quote, interactive computer service providers, including basically any online service that publishes third-party content. Though there are important exceptions for certain criminal and intellectual property, blah, blah, blah. So 230 creates a broad protection that has allowed innovation and free speech online to flourish. This legal and policy framework has allowed for YouTube and Vimeo users to upload their videos, Amazon and Yelp to offer countless user reviews, Craigslist to host classified ads, and Facebook and Twitter to offer social networking to hundreds of millions of internet users. Given the sheer size of user-generated websites, for example, Facebook alone has more than 1 billion users, and this is several months old, and YouTube users upload hundreds of hours of video every minute. It would be infeasible for online intermediaries to prevent objectionable content from cropping up on their site. Rather than face potential liability for their users' actions, most would likely not host any content at all, or would need to protect themselves by being actively engaged in censoring what we say, what we see, and what we do online. In short, CDA 230 is perhaps the most influential law to protect the kind of innovation that has allowed the internet to thrive since 1996. What this is saying is basically YouTube doesn't have to censor any of the material there, folks. There's no law that says they've just decided that that's what they're going to do, and there's certainly no law that says that they have to come in and censor people like Richie from Boston, Jerome Corsi, and the rest of the people. They're just doing it because the SPLC has basically influenced them. And I don't know what goes on behind the scenes, but the SPLC, like I said, has an army of 10,000 people, and they are flat out going to remove any content that they don't like. And when the poo-poo hits the blades and nobody can get good information, they're going to come after the rest of you. They're probably going to come after people like me much, much sooner than that. I've got one strike already. And so what I'm supposed to do now is be careful, because I don't want to get 2 strikes, right? And if I get 3 strikes, and they can strike me for anything they want, folks, and I'm gone. Okay, I'm a small fish in the big picture here, but I give content that you won't find. I don't think you'll find on a lot of other channels. I talk about topics, and I talk about perspectives that other people don't have on YouTube. You can go to Eurofolk Radio, and you can go to other channels, but I'm still here on YouTube, and they're gonna. I've said it many times. They're going to eventually cut me off, and that's why I'm suggesting you get involved with me over at BitChute. I'm also back on Twitter. I can use Twitter on my phone, and so I'm back on Twitter. At least I can look on Twitter. I can't really do much because it's hard to do there, but I'm going to pick it up on Twitter. I posted a lot of my videos over there, and I had a little engagement with some little a popular Twitter, well, I don't know what you call them, but she was anti-flat Earth, and I engaged her, and she didn't like it. So I got to be careful over there too, because I haven't been over there in a while. I don't know how they handle what I told her. But you know what, folks? Are they going to start to ban people who believe in the flat Earth too from YouTube or Twitter? Am I going to get in trouble because I challenged this individual there on Twitter? Is she going to complain to Twitter that I'm harassing her and I'm a bully and she needs her safe space? You see, folks, this is getting ridiculous, folks. This is getting absolutely ridiculous. I do want to thank you for watching. I do want to thank you for subscribing, and I do want to thank you for your support. And may the grace of God, our Father Yahweh, the God of the Israelites, the Caucasian race, may His grace be upon us all in these last days, for we most certainly need it. See ya.